माननीय सभासदों, माननीय अध्यक्ष जी,
प्रश्न संख्या 200
கேள்வி எண் 241. ஒரு நிமிடம். மாண்புமிகு உறுப்பினர்களே, தயவு செய்து அமருங்கள். மாண்புமிகு உறுப்பினர்களே, நேற்று இந்த அவையில் நடந்தது பற்றி சொல்ல விரும்ப வேண்டும். அது வருந்தத்தக்கது. எந்த உறுப்பினரும் பெண்கள் குறித்து, பெண் எம்பிக்கள் குறித்து இந்த மாதிரியாக சொல்லக்கூடாது. இது அவையினுடைய கண்ணியம் மற்றும் பெருமைக்கு களங்கம் விளைவிப்பதாக இருக்கிறது. அவர்கள் தயவு செய்து இது மாதிரியான தனிப்பட்ட முறையிலான மத ரீதியிலான அல்லது பாலின சார்ந்த விஷயங்களை சொல்லக்கூடாது. அவர்கள் இந்த மாதிரியான கருத்துக்களை சொல்லாமல் இருக்க வேண்டும். உங்களிடத்திலே வேறுபாடுகள் இருக்கலாம், ஒப்புதல்கள் இருக்கலாம், அது ஆக்கப்பூர்வமான விஷயமாக இருக்கலாம், அது ஒரு நக்கலாக இருக்கக்கூடாது. இது கண்ணியம் சார்ந்ததாக இருக்க வேண்டும். உறுப்பினர் மன்னிப்பை கோரியிருக்கிறார். அவர் எழுத்துப்பூர்வமாகவும் மன்னிப்பு கோரியிருக்கிறார். கேள்வி எண் 241. அமருங்கள். பதில் மேஜையின் மேல் வைக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. மாண்புமிகு உறுப்பினர் அவர்களே. நன்றி. மாண்புமிகு அவைத்தலைவர் அவர்களே, இந்த வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி. உங்களுடைய மூலமாக நான் வடகரை தொகுதி மக்கள் சந்திக்கும் விஷயங்களை, பிரச்சனைகளை சொல்ல வேண்டும். அங்கே நடைபெறுகிற கட்டிட பணிகள், அந்த தேசிய நெடுஞ்சாலையினுடைய கட்டுமான பணிகள் காலம் தாழ்த்தி வருகின்றது. கீழ்பாலம், மேம்பாலம், சர்வீஸ் சாலைகளினுடைய அகலம், அந்த பல விஷயங்களை நான் எழுப்பியிருக்கிறேன். திக்கோடியில் ஒரு ஆண்டு காலமாக அங்கே போராட்டம் நடத்தியிருக்கிறார்கள். அங்கே ஒரு ரயில் நிலையம் இருக்கிறது, மசூதி இருக்கிறது, பள்ளி இருக்கிறது, கோயில் இருக்கிறது. அங்கே ஒரு கீழ் பாலத்திற்காக கேட்டுக்கொண்டிருக்கிறார். நீங்கள் கேள்வியை சுருக்கமாக கேளுங்கள். திக்கோடி, அனலா, ஆழியூர், பந்தலைனி ஆகிய, நந்தி ஆகிய பல இடங்களில் உங்களுடைய உயர்நிலை கூட்டத்திற்கு நீங்கள் அறிவிப்பு செய்வீர்களா? வடகரை மாண்புமிகு அமைச்சர் அவர்கள் இதை தீர்ப்பதற்கு அமைச்சர் முன் வருவாரா? மாண்புமிகு அமைச்சர், மாண்புமிகு அவைத்தலைவர் அவர்களே, இந்த பிரச்சனைகள் தொடர்பாக கேரளாவில் இந்த மாதிரியான சூழ்நிலை இருக்கிறது. இந்த வளர்ச்சி என்பது சாலை ஓர வளர்ச்சி, ஒரு பக்கம் பள்ளி, கல்லூரிகள், குடியிருப்புகள், எல்லோரும் ஒரு கீழ் வழி பாதைக்கு, சுரங்க பாதைக்கு வேண்டுகோள் விடுக்கிறார்கள். நாம் ஒரு சாலையை அமைக்க வேண்டும் என்றால் பல சுரங்க பாதைகளை அமைக்க வேண்டி இருக்கிறது. எங்கெல்லாம் சாலை தொடர்புகள் இருக்கிறதோ அங்கே அமைக்க முடியும். அங்கே கோரிக்கைகள் எப்படி சந்திப்பது என்று தெரியவில்லை. உறுப்பினர்கள், கேரள உறுப்பினர்கள் பல இடங்களிலே, பல நேரங்களிலே எங்களை வந்து சந்திக்கிறார்கள். நாங்கள் எல்லாம் சரி செய்கிறோம். நான் எம்பி அவர்களுக்கு சொல்லி இருக்கிறேன். அவர்கள் என்னெல்லாம் சொன்னார்களோ அதையெல்லாம் நான் பரிசீலனை செய்து ஆக்கப்பூர்வமாக நல்ல தீர்வு காண்பதற்கு நான் முயற்சி செய்வேன். ஒரு துணை கேள்வியை கேளுங்கள். அது ஒரு மாற்றுப்பாதைக்கு, வயநாடுக்கும் கோழிக்கோடுக்கும் இடையே ஒரு மாற்றுப்பாதை 766 என்கிற தேசிய நெடுஞ்சாலையின் பகுதியாக இருக்கிறது. இது நீண்ட காலமாக இருக்கிறது. 1993 இருந்து படிஞ்சான் தடா ஒரு பசுமை நெடுஞ்சாலையாக 8 கிலோமீட்டர் பாதை அது. அந்த நிலத்தை, அந்த பிரச்சனையை தீர்த்து வைத்தால் இது ஒரு பெரிய அங்கே மண் சரிவுகள், பருவநிலை மாற்றம், மழை காரணமாக அங்கே மண் சரிவுகள் இருக்கின்றன. அங்கே போக்குவரத்து மிகப்பெரிய நெரிசல் ஏற்படுகிறது. இது படிஞானத்தரா என்கிற இடத்திலே மாண்புமிகு இது உதவியாக இருக்கும், மக்களுக்கு உதவியாக இருக்கும். மாண்புமிகு அமைச்சர் அவர்களே, மாண்புமிகு அவைத்தலைவர் அவர்களே, இந்த கேள்வி என்பது துறைமுக தொடர்பு, கேரளாவிற்கு அந்த நெடுஞ்சாலையினுடைய தொடர்பான கேள்வி. இது இந்த கேள்வியோடு இணைப்பாக இல்லை. நான் இந்த விஷயத்தில் கவனம் செலுத்த வேண்டும். நான் அவருடன் சந்திப்பு நடக்கிற பொழுது எனக்கு அதனுடைய விவரங்கள் தெரியவில்லை. நான் அந்த நேரத்திலே அது பற்றி விவாதிப்பதற்கு நான் நம்பிக்கையோடு சொல்கிறேன். அந்த மக்களுடைய நலனுக்கு சாதகமாக நடப்பதிலே நான் துணையாக இருக்கிறேன். திரு இபி எடன் அவர்கள். நன்றி அவைத்தலைவர் அவர்களே. அமைச்சர் அவர்கள் சொல்லி இருக்கிறார், இந்த கேள்வி என்பது தேசிய நெடுஞ்சாலை 966 தொடர்பானது. நீங்கள் அறிந்திருப்பீர்கள். நீங்கள் கப்பல் போக்குவரத்து மற்றும் சாலை போக்குவரத்து அமைச்சர். கொச்சி ஷிப்யார்டு நிறுவனத்தினுடைய முக்கியத்துவத்தை அவர்கள் அறிந்திருக்கிறோம். INS விக்ராந்த், அது உள்நாட்டிலே தயாரிக்கப்பட்ட விமானம் தாங்கி கப்பல். கொச்சி என்பது ஒரு மிக முக்கியமானது. இந்த நெடுஞ்சாலையை பற்றி நீங்கள் சொல்கிறீர்கள். இது நெட்டூர் இணைப்பு வைட்டலா அரூர் இடையே அது கொச்சி துறைமுகம் வரை செல்கிறது. இது மிகப்பெரிய முக்கியத்துவம் பெற்றிருக்கிறது கட்டுமானத்திலே. இது மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு தொடர்பு, ஒரு மேம்பாலம் கட்டப்பட்டால் இது தேசிய நெடுஞ்சாலை 66B உடன் இணைகிறது. எப்படி இந்த திட்டம் வடிவமைப்பு எல்லாம் இருக்கிறது என்று அறிய விரும்புகிறோம். கொச்சி துறைமுகம் என்பது மிக மோசமான நிலையில் இருக்கிறது. இந்த நெடுஞ்சாலை என்பது துறைமுகத்தினுடைய வளர்ச்சிக்கும் உதவியாக இருக்கும். மாண்புமிகு அமைச்சர் அவர்கள், அரசு பிரதம மந்திரி தலைமையிலே அமைந்த பிறகு முக்கியத்துவம் துறைமுகத்திற்கு, நாட்டின் துறைமுகங்களுக்கு முக்கியத்துவம் தருகிறது, தொடர்புகளுக்கு முக்கியத்துவம் தருகிறது. உலகிலே எங்கு பார்த்தாலும் அந்த நாட்டினுடைய வளர்ச்சி என்பது துறைமுகம் சார்ந்ததாக இருக்கிறது. அது மிகவும் முக்கியமானது. என்னுடைய அமைச்சகத்தை பொறுத்த அளவில் நான் முன்னர் கப்பல் போக்குவரத்து அமைச்சராக இருந்ததும், கொச்சி துறைமுக கழகம் என்பது மிக முக்கியமான நிறுவனமாக இருந்தது. அது மிகப்பெரிய சாதனை அளவிலே செயல்பட்டு வருகிறது. அவர்களுக்கு உலகம் பூராவும் நல்ல மதிப்பு இருக்கிறது. அது மூலதன சந்தையில் செல்கிற பொழுது அவற்றுக்கு மக்களிடையே நல்ல வரவேற்பு இருக்கிறது. நான் கொச்சின் கப்பல் கட்டுமான கழகத்திற்கு முக்கியத்துவம் தருகிறோம். கொச்சின் துறைமுகம் என்பது இழப்பை சந்திக்கிறது. அங்கே ஒரு எண்ணெய் சுத்திகரிப்பு ஆலை இருக்கிறது. அந்த பைப்லைன் என்பது அங்கே சிக்கலாக இருக்கிறது. 10 ஆண்டுகளாக அது பற்றி நான் தொடர்ந்து விசாரித்து வந்தேன். நம்முடைய தற்போதைய பிரதம மந்திரி அவர்கள் அந்த கேஸ் பைப்லைன், எரிவாயு பைப்லைன் திட்டத்தை முழுமை செய்திருக்கிறார். அதன் மூலமாக கொச்சி துறைமுகத்தின் வருமானம் அதிகரித்திருக்கிறது. அந்த துறைமுக தொடர்பு என்பதை பார்க்கிற பொழுது 1,25,000 கோடி என்பது மதிப்பிலானது. இந்த திட்டங்களை எல்லாம் செய்ய முயன்று மும்பை கன்னியாகுமரி நெடுஞ்சாலையும் NH 966B என்பதையும் நாங்கள் வித்திலா அரூர் பைபாஸ் என்பது CIFT அந்த வில்லிங்டன் தீவிலே இருக்கிறது. இது விரிவான திட்ட அறிக்கை இருக்கிறது. அதற்கு பிறகு ஏல முறைக்கு செல்வோம். அதற்கு பிறகு திட்டத்தை தொடங்குவோம். அதே நேரத்தில் 3 துறைமுக தொடர்புகள் கேரளாவில் உருவாக்கப்படுகிறது. 4 வழிச்சாலை NH 966B குண்டனூரிலிருந்து வில்லிங்டன் தீவு வரை. ஆழப்புழா, இது துறைமுகம் அல்லாத ஒரு துறைமுகம். இது ஆழப்புழாவிலிருந்து கடற்கரையிலிருந்து முன்னர் அங்கே ஆலப்புழா பைபாஸ் இன்டர்செக்ஷன் என்பது உருவாக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. ஆழிக்கல் என்பதும் ஒரு மிக முக்கியமில்லாத துறைமுகமாகும். இதுவும் 2 கிலோமீட்டர் தூரத்திற்கு அகலப்படுத்தப்பட வேண்டி இருக்கிறது. இந்த விரிவான திட்ட அறிக்கை என்பது இறுதி செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. 1 மாதத்திற்குள் திட்ட அறிக்கை செய்யப்பட்டு அந்த திட்டம் தொடங்கப்படும். திரு சசி தரூர் அவர்கள். அமைச்சர் அவர்கள் விழிஞ்சம் துறைமுகம் என்பது என்னுடைய துறைமுகத்தில் இருக்கிறது. அரசு என்பது மாநில அரசுடன் பேச வேண்டும். அந்த இடைநிலை அந்த சாலை தொடர்பை உருவாக்க வேண்டி இருக்கிறது. அது உலகளாவிய அளவில் இருக்க அடுத்த மாதத்திலே தொடங்கிவிட்டது. இந்த துறைமுகத்தை செயல்பாட்டு கொண்டு வருவதிலே தாமதம் ஏற்பட்டிருக்கிறது. இந்த நெடுஞ்சாலையை கட்டி அந்த துறைமுகத்திற்கு தொடர்பை ஏற்படுத்தி தருவது பற்றி நாங்கள் கேட்கிறோம். மாநில அரசுடன் அதோடு தேசிய நெடுஞ்சாலை ஆணையத்துடனும் செய்யப்படும். இப்ப நம்மிடம் துறைமுகம் இருக்கும், ஆனால் சாலைகள் தொடர்பு இல்லவில்லை என்றால் அதனால் எந்த பயனும் இல்லை. சசி தரூர் அவர்கள் சொல்வது போல ஒரு மிக மிக முக்கியமானது. நான் கப்பல் துறை அமைச்சராக இருந்தபோது இந்த துறைமுகத்திற்கு ஒப்புதல் தந்தேன். தனியார் துறைமுகம், அது தனியார் அதாரி துறைமுகமாக மாறி இருக்கிறது. அது அவர்கள் சாலைகளை அமைப்பதாக இருந்தது. ஆனால் அவர்கள் பின்வாங்கி விட்டார்கள். சில பிரச்சனைகள் இருக்கின்றன. 4-5 நாட்களுக்கு முன்பாக நான் மாநில முதலமைச்சருடன் நீண்ட கூட்டத்தை நடத்தினேன். நீண்ட நேரம் நான் ஒரு வழியை கண்டுபிடித்திருக்கிறேன். இது மிகப்பெரிய முக்கியம் வாய்ந்த இந்த துறைமுகம். சாலைகள் தொடர்பு இல்லை என்றால் அந்த துறைமுகத்தின் பயன் இல்லை. நான் ஒரு வழியை கண்டுபிடிப்பேன். அந்த திட்டத்தில் இருக்கிறோம், நாம் செயல்படுவோம். கேள்வி எண் 242 திரு அமிர்தர் சிங் ராஜா வாரி அவர்கள். மாண்புமிகு அமைச்சர் அவர்கள். மேஜையின் மீது பதில் வைக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. நன்றி மாண்புமிகு அவைத்தலைவர் அவர்களே. இந்த கேள்வி என்பது லுத்தியானா தொடர்புடையது. நான் உங்களுடைய அனுமதியோடு ஒரு கேள்வியை, ஒரு பொதுப்படையான கேள்வியை 8 ஏப்ரல் 2022 அன்று நிதி அமைச்சகம் அந்த நிலைக்குழு ஒரு அறிக்கையை சமர்ப்பித்தது. இது சிறு குறு நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்கள் பற்றிய அறிக்கை. இந்த அறிக்கையில் இந்த கடன் இடைவெளி என்பது இருக்கிறது. இந்த சிறு குறு நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்களில் 20-25 லட்சம் கோடியாக அது இருக்கிறது. 40% அது போன்ற சிறு குறு நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்கள் இருக்கின்றன. அவை ஒட்டுமொத்தமாக முறை சார்ந்த தொழில்துறையில் இருக்கின்றன. இந்த அறிக்கையில் இது சொல்லப்பட்டது. நீங்கள் கிசான் கடன் அட்டைகளை கொடுத்திருக்கிறீர்கள். அதை போலவே அதுபோல வியாபாரிகள் கடன் அட்டைகளை கொடுக்க வேண்டும். இது மிக முக்கியமானது. ஏனென்றால் 13% GDPயில் இந்த சிறு குறு நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்களில் இருக்கிறது. 45% உற்பத்தி பொருட்களும் இந்த துறைகளிலிருந்து இருக்கிறது. 48% உங்களுடைய ஏற்றுமதி என்பதும் MSME துறையிலிருந்து வருகிறது. மாண்புமிகு அமைச்சரிடம் உங்கள் மூலமாக நான் கேட்க வரும்போது, இந்த அறிக்கை 8 ஏப்ரல் 2022 அன்று அமைக்கப்பட்டது. இந்த நிதி தொடர்பான இந்த நிலைக்குழு சமர்ப்பித்த அறிக்கையில் சொன்னதை நான் சொல்ல விரும்புகிறேன். அமைச்சர் இதை நடைமுறைப்படுத்தி இருக்கிறாரா இல்லையா? அமைச்சர் அவர்கள். மாண்புமிகு அவைத்தலைவர் அவர்களே, நான் உறுப்பினருக்கு நன்றி தெரிவித்துக் கொள்ள விரும்புகிறேன். இது ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயம். இது முக்கியமான கேள்வி. சிறு குறு
25 lakh crores, only 40% such small and medium enterprises are there, which are under organized sector, and they take loan from them. And to get rid of this, in that report, it was suggested that the manner in which you have the Kisan credit cards, on similar line, you should have Vyapar credit cards, the scheme be launched. And it is also important because almost 30% of the GDP of the country comes from the small and medium enterprises. 45% of your manufacturing output comes from micro and small industries, and 48% of your export comes from the MSME sector. So I would like to know from the Honorable Minister, through you, sir, that the report presented on 8th April 2022 by the Standing Committee on Finance and the suggestions therein, has your minister implemented it or not? Thank you, Honorable Minister.
अध्यक्ष महोदय,
Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to thank the Honorable Member for raising such an important question about the MSME sector, be it about the exports or about employment or be it about the GDP concerned. He has made a very positive remark on that. I thank him for that. Speaker, sir, under the credit guarantee scheme, the MSME, for that, we have the Credit Guarantee Trust Fund. Through that, we have different categories of loan, and 85% of guarantee coverage is there. And with that, we give almost 500 lakh crores of loan, and we give credit guarantee scheme loans to the MSME, and this granted limit has been increased from 2 crores to 5 crore rupees. And from 1st April 2023, the standard has been reduced by 50% for the annual standard maintenance charges. Thank you.
Question number 243.
Question number 243.
हाँ, ये लुधियाना से संबंधित
This question is only for Ludhiana. It is falls in the context I would have allowed.
243.
माननीय मंत्री
Honorable Minister,
माननीय सदस्य
Honorable Member. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Sir, I would like to raise an issue of urgent public importance. And, sir, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister and Honorable Prime Minister Shri Modi ji that for, as per the Motor Vehicles Act of 1988, those who are accident victims of road accidents, for them cashless treatment has started, but it has not been done in 6 states. And as per Ayushman Bharat, PM Jan Arogya Yojana, the scheme was implemented, but in Assam, Haryana, Punjab, Chandigarh, Pondicherry, Uttarakhand, only 6 states have implemented it. And on the other side, sir, through you, I would like to request the Honorable Minister, and I would like to ask him also that this cashless treatment, those patients or those who are victims of major injuries, their spines or head are hurt, then there's a limitation also that within 7 days of accident, up to 1.5 lakh is the treatment cost that can be covered. So I would like to know from the Honorable Minister whether this scheme will be implemented throughout the country, and the limit of 7 days and 1.5 lakh rupees, will it be done over with and will it be made open? Thank you.
माननीय सभापति महोदय,
Honorable Speaker, sir, in our country, it is a misfortune that the number of road accidents is on the rise. 4,80,481 accidents were there, and the number of victims is 1,72,890 victims who died. As per Niti Aayog and AIMS reports, it has come that 30% of the total deaths is due to the services that is to be given in medical emergency because they do not get it. That is why these deaths occur, and this cashless treatment scheme has been implemented. In this, the vehicle insurance that is there up till 7 days of expenses or 1.5 lakh rupees, whichever up till 1.5 lakh rupees will be given to them. This is the Ayush platform, and the health ministry also, and the National Health Authority, and we have police, hospitals, state agencies. This money will be reimbursed at the earliest. What the honorable member said, that this is as a pilot project in Assam, Chandigarh, Pondicherry, Chandigarh, this scheme has been launched, and 2,100 lives have been saved so far. And the maximum treatment amount is only 1.25 lakh rupees is what we have paid so far. I would also like to tell him that in Uttar Pradesh only, honorable member comes from Uttar Pradesh. We are going to implement it in the next 3 months. This pilot project will be set, and then we will roll it out across the country. And those who meet with accidents, they will get this cashless treatment in the golden hour. Then I think that many lives will be saved. So through you, I would like to request the honorable members that under the leadership of each member, we have the accident redressal committee in each district. And in each district, so many people are dying. They do not die in wars or communal riots or during COVID, but 178,000 people have died because of this. And I would request you that all these black spots, please monitor it under your chairmanship, the police, the state governments, the NHAI. You can give guidelines and instructions. You please send letters to all the members because many times the meetings are not called. So please send them a letter. I will send the letters once again. And in your district, this accidents be reduced. For that, please give your assistance and help me save lives. I would like to also tell you a very sad incident. These 178,000 people who died, out of them, almost 60% were between the age group of 18 to 34. They are young boys, engineers, doctors, and they were just walking, or because they were not wearing a helmet, they died. There's a red light, and they do not follow traffic signals. They are not afraid of law, also, they do not respect the law and order. So, with your help, please issue the guidelines. This is what I would like to tell the entire house through you, and I will definitely send the letters to the members. Thank you. Do you have a supplementary question, honorable member? Now, Naveen Jindal ji.
सतीश गौतम,
अध्यक्ष महोदय,
Honorable Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister about the Motor Vehicles Act 1988, around the road safety committee was to be constituted. What is the status, and by what time this board will be established? Thank you.
आदरणीय
Honorable Speaker, sir, this board was to be constituted some 6 years back, and then the it was what retired secretary of which grade will be appointed. I do not have the entire approval with me, because of which this board has not yet been constituted, but I will try to do it at the earliest. Thank you.
244
Question number 244.
क्वेश्चन नंबर 244 सर
माननीय मंत्री महोदय,
Honorable Minister, a statement is laid on the table of the House. Honorable Member.
माननीय मंत्री जी आप अपने
Honorable Speaker, sir, the Honorable Minister is known for his dedicated work, and he has constructed very good highways in the entire country. But because of that, the cars run at a speed of 110 to 150 kilometers per hour. And you only mentioned that almost 1.78 lakh people have lost their lives. In the last 10 years, almost 15 lakhs people have lost their lives because of road accidents. And if we see, then daily almost 400 people lose their lives. And so in Punjab, in the last 1 year, if we compare from 2023, the death rate has reduced 47%. The reason is that we have a dedicated force in Punjab where 1,600 police officials have been deployed, and at every 30 kilometer, we have almost 40 lakh worth car
villages of like Jawalgari, Mangbudua, Phasipurwa, Lokiha, Khairi, Upaha, Sanaiya, Shikari Chauraha, Ramnagar, Ganeshpur, Gulpurwa, such villages, Chaukatala, Mekahwa, Lalpur, Vishanpur, Madangarh, Chandapur, Kauri, Balrampur, Jugiakala, Bhagwanpur, Khadar, Gargudwa, Sardargarh, such villages which are on the bank of Rapti River because of flood situation, they are affected, and thousands of acres of land, crops of farmers get destroyed. Because of this, the entire crop of farmer is destroyed. The people of houses are washed away. The houses of the people are washed away, and the entire village is inundated. And there is erosion situation also. Embankment are damaged, and the people lose their lives. And the way they should be given compensation, they do not get compensation from the government. Tapti River, when the flood situation is there, the erosion is so huge that the villages on the bank of river, if you look at the distance, if the river is at 200 meter, next day it reaches 100 meters. In the same way, on the bank of rivers, the houses, because of erosion of land, the entire house is washed away. Tapti River, Sravasti, Siddharnagar, and Gorakhpur, it goes up to Gorakhpur. So all these districts are flood affected districts. A person who puts in all his hard-earned money in order to construct his house, and that house is washed away by the river, and where he does not get the adequate compensation by the government. They are given only 1 lakh, 2 lakh, and 2.5 lakh. The farmers who are and laborers who are living on the bank of rivers, they are getting poorer. Honorable Chairman, through you, I request the double engine of the government as well as the central government that the central government along with the state government should conduct a survey, and the villages which are on the bank of rivers and the houses which are washed away, they should be given adequate compensation to the tune of 20 lakh rupees. Along with this, the Tapti River, on the both sides, there should be proper embankment. Madam, there is a very serious issue through you. In Uttar Pradesh, such a situation has happened for the farmers that GAP fertilizer, the farmers are in great distress. The farmers are not in a position to cultivate. The price of fertilizer is very high, and they are not able to get fertilizer. Through you, I demand from the government, Honorable Minister is sitting here. This is also a crisis. Please provide adequate supply. Thank you for providing me opportunity.
माननीय सदस्य श्रीमती के कनिमोजी जी.
Thank you, ma'am. I raise to oppose this bill. This bill needs more deliberations, more debate and discussion before it's brought to this house. When you look at it now, it has more omissions and commissions than what is actually going to benefit this country. Climate change has increased the risk of natural disasters, increase in global surface temperatures, leading to more powerful storms, droughts, aridification, huge wildfires, sea erosion, leading to loss of lives, livelihood, and displacement. The effect of climate change is just not something we seem to be realizing, because all over the world, the floods, the fires, the droughts are unprecedented. Countries have never seen something like this happening. And in India, practically every day, we see a state flooded, affected, landslides. I think it's time that we take disaster management much more seriously. There's no harm in hoping for the best, as long as you are prepared for the worst. We can never take anything for sure in this world. except for, of course, Honorable Member Nishikant Dube's 0 hours, which I don't think anything else can be taken as a sure thing. And every time there is a cyclone, the union government proudly proclaims that you want the states. But sadly, the radars you have are not powerful enough to predict the storm in advance, giving us adequate warning. Your information is more like astrological predictions and not modern weather forecasts. Only when the storm is within 150 kilometers, you are able to give any clear information or indication about the storm. And that is practically just 1 day's notice. What can a state really do? How many people can it move to more protected areas? What can it actually do in a day's time? Whereas if you upgrade your high-end radars and if you're able to predict, because many of the countries are able to predict storms and disasters, particularly cyclones, at least when it is 300 kilometers away. That is 3 days of warning. If you are able to give state governments 3 days of warning, that will make a lot of difference in protecting the people and in moving them to safer places. And using satellite images with AI interpretations will also be very helpful and give us a clearer picture of disasters, because so many other kinds of disasters we are not able to understand or able to predict. You call yourselves global teacher, Vishwa Guru. Then we cannot be unprepared. If you're going to teach the world, if you're going to lead the world, I think we should show leadership in disaster management and protecting our people. But we don't seem to be really caring, because most of the times it is the underprivileged, the poor and the farmers who are the worst hit. We know how this government treats its farmers. So you've taken away their right to speak, dignity of life and liberty. And now we can't take their lives away too. Like most of the bills passed by the NDA, this bill is also detrimental to state rights. Cooperative federalism, which you keep talking about, has become confrontational federalism in reality. Disaster management is a state subject. Any amendments without consulting the states will have negative impact on disaster response. Para 6.1 has proposed including technical guidance to state governments and the authorities. Does it mean that the state will be bound by the advice of the union? And the bill proposes to create a national level, state level disaster database. This is something I think everybody of us over here will welcome. But will that study really be a in detail study of all the terrains, all the villages, all the cities, all the states, districts, all the landscape, the terrains, and it has to include if Tamrabarani breaches, you should be able to understand through the data which are the areas which will get affected, which are the settlements which will get affected. If a lake breaches, if a river breaches, this is the kind of data which has to be included in the database. And the most important thing is, once you collect data and create a database, most of the time the state governments are not able to access that data. This should not be the case, because we're playing with lives. It should be easily accessible to the state governments also. And we have to understand that sea erosion, and we have a very long coast, and every coastal city and village has the problem of sea erosion. Coastal areas are getting eroded, and also there are predictions that many of the cities in this country will be submerged. Many parts of the cities will be submerged underwater. So we have to take this into consideration and plan ahead to keep our people safe. Section 8B, a new insertion in the bill, talks about a high-level committee. This will act as a nodal body to decide whether the disaster is a serious major disaster or not. I'm worried that because this committee does not have powers on its own, it will be completely under the government. So when it is under the government and it has to decide according to the government, maybe only serious disasters will only happen in double engine states, where the single engines will be left to fend for themselves. The bill fails to ensure disaster relief as a justiciable right. Tamil Nadu has had to go to the Supreme Court for aid after it was affected very badly by the cyclone Migzam. 37,000 crores which it wanted to rebuild the lives of the people, the thousands and thousands of people, the houses we lost, the farmlands we lost, to rebuild their lives. Our Chief Minister asked the Union government and the Prime Minister for aid to help these people in distress. But we did not get a single rupee from the Union government. And today, we are forced to go to the Supreme Court. Wayanad has, it was such a bad disaster in front of our eyes. But they have not got any help. So why is it that a state government has to be forced to go to Supreme Court every time there is an issue, every time there's a problem, every time we need help? We have to approach the court to get justice for us. And the state had to argue that the center's inaction violates citizen rights to equality and life with dignity under Article 14 and 21 of the Constitution. You want to constitute a separate urban disaster management authority for state capitals and municipal corporations. What is the point in it? Creation of multiple authorities without clear demarcation of powers leads to a lot of confusion, bureaucratic inefficiency, and that is all. Already we have different departments handling with different calamities. The Center for Seismology and Meteorological Department handle earthquakes. Mining disasters by Department of the Mines. This actually only leads to delays and it starts a blame game among the departments. It is high time we need one department, one agency, and maybe it's time for the government to think of one particular ministry, separate ministry for disaster management to take care of the number of disasters which are happening practically every second day in this country. For example, the West Bengal Chief Minister, Madam Mamata Banerjee, has said the floods in South Bengal 2023 was caused by deliberate mismanagement of the DVC. They release water without consulting us, and now people are suffering. So this is what happens when you have various multiple agencies without any clear demarcations, and too many people will not be able to deliver anything. In section 44A, you said you'll constitute a state disaster response force for specialized responses. But there is no mention about who will be funding for this mechanism. There's a proverb in Tamil. ஆத்துக்குள்ள நின்னு அரோகரான்னு சொன்னாலும் சோத்துக்குள்ளதான் இருக்கான் சொக்கநாதன். So if you don't tell us who's going to fund it, again that burden will come on us. So I think the bill has to be very clear about who is going to fund this disaster response force for specialized response. India has, and moreover, India has witnessed over 5,000 deaths from 2014 to 2020 due to heat waves. Due to global warming, it's expected to increase and become frequent, the heat waves. The government has to notify heat waves as a disaster. The Tamil Nadu government under our Chief Minister, M.K. Stalin, has declared heat waves as a state-specific disaster, enabling relief and ex gratia payment of 4 lakhs to the families of the deceased. I like to say it, even if you wouldn't want to hear it, it's a Dravidian model government. So we lead by example. So this is one more thing you could think of following us. Allocation of funds under the SDRF. Its 30% weightage is given to population and the area. This puts states like Tamil Nadu, which has controlled population, at a very big disadvantage. You're giving 30% weightage for the funds to be released to us. It puts us at a disadvantage. It is like you're punishing us for making sure that our population is under control. இது நல்லா படிச்சு நல்ல மார்க் வாங்குற பிள்ளைய கொண்டு போய் விட்டு வெளியே.
For a good student, they are keeping the good students outside the classroom. That is the situation we are seeing here continuously. All ways, Tamil Nadu is a developed country, developed state.
Developed state for which we are having good governance, because of which we are affected time and again because of being a developed state. Our neighboring state, Kerala, is also facing the same problem. You just say your open hands. You just say you have that empty hands. The union government shows empty hands to us.
Index. You are putting us.
इनके प्रश्नों का उत्तर दिया जाएगा, लेकिन एक ही आग्रह है.
There is only one request. She will be replied that I am proud that what Modi government has done, and there is a reply, very befitting reply to each question raised.
Thank you. That is why I'm speaking. We want a good reply.
Minister, that is why we have gone to Supreme Court, taking the begging bowl.
The disaster risk index.
We are not part of the union.
You've given us, you've put us along with the West Coast. Historical study shows eastern coastal states are more prone to cyclones due to wind movement in the atmosphere circulation. But you have not put us in the high risk category. So please, to be fair, you have to put Tamil Nadu in the high risk category along with Andhra, because we are faced with frequent cyclones and storms, and it's increasing. Now, I'd like to, the minister, I hope he has a reply for this particularly, because I like to read some numbers out. We do not deny the fact that when there is a storm or a
माननीय
disaster.
सदस्य कंप्लीट करिए प्लीज.
Please complete. Your time is up. Your time is up. Please complete. Please complete. Your time is up.
In 2015 to 16, when there was floods in Tamil Nadu, they asked for 25,000 crores. What we got was 1,737. When there was a drought, when 39,565 crores was asked, we got 1,748 crores. When there was Varda cyclone, when it hit us, what we asked for is 22,573 crores. What we got was a mere 266 crores. Then again, when Oki cyclone hit Tamil Nadu, we wanted 9,302 crores. We got 133 crores. Gaja, 17,000 crores, 17,899 was asked. We got 1,146. Then again, when Nivar cyclone came, when 3,758 was asked, we got 63 crores. Then again, there were rains and floods and memorandums were given, nothing came. And now, last year again, we had cyclones and Tamil Nadu was badly hit. We got nothing. Thoothukudi, my own constituency, was so badly affected. We got nothing, not a penny.
Empty promises. Ministers visited.
Now, cyclone Migja. Around 37,000 crores was asked. We got nothing. Now the Tamil Nadu government has been forced to go to the Supreme Court to get justice. And the cyclone Fenger. First, initially, the Chief Minister asked for 2,000 crores. Then after the Central team visited, we asked for 6,675 crores. We have got nothing. But then the central government announced that the union government
Please,
announced
Manya Sadhya,
that
complete
it got
करिए. Please complete
2
करिए.
minutes.
Please complete, honorable member.
2 minutes. I'm finishing. They announced that they're giving 944 crores and made it sound like they're giving us compensation for the floods and the cyclone. But actually, it was the STRF money which they had to pay. You're not giving us any money from the NDRF. But whereas the states have to bear all the brunt of what happens to its people, to the farmers, to the lands, houses washed away, lives lost, we have to take care of all of them. But you call this as one nation. And GST compensation. Tamil Nadu has lost nearly 20,000 crores in GST compensation. We've lost our fiscal autonomy. How do you expect?
Manya Sadhya, please.
Honorable member, please complete your speech.
விவசாயிகள் ஆயிரக்கணக்கான
Thousands of acres of farmland have been lost. Their crops have been damaged. They are in pain. They are in suffering. Their houses have been damaged. And with the children, they are standing on the streets. If in this condition, this union government, not even a single rupee they have given to Tamil Nadu and the people of Tamil Nadu or to the states of the country. They are hard hitting. They are not having any heart. It should not be accepted. This is just ignoring the rights and interests of the people of Tamil Nadu. There will be a lesson that will be taught to them. Thank you.
सदस्य श्री केसी नैनी शिवनाथ जी 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 निष्काम जी मान्य सदस्य
Honorable member, you want to say something?
एक मिनट माननीय सदस्य विषय क्या है
Honorable member, what is your subject? My name was taken, Honorable Chairperson, Madam. She took my name in the question hour and the 0 hour. That is as per the permission of the Honorable Speaker. It is not decided by anybody else. The biggest impact of cirrhosis in Tamil Nadu, she just to safeguard her, she's taking my name. Honorable Member Shri K.C. Neni ji.
जी बेटी माननीय सदस्य
Please take your seat, Honorable Member.
Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2024 is a timely legislation brought by the government to address the increasing frequency of the natural disasters in our country. From 2015 to 2023, funds released to SDRF have nearly tripled, rising to 1 lakh crores under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and Minister Home Amit Shah ji. The bill focused on critical needs to address risks from extreme climate events like heat waves, floods, and storms. Over 40% of Andhra Pradesh area is prone to tropical storms. From 2014 to 20, it experienced the highest number of cyclones in India, including the devastating events such as Cyclone Hudhud and Titli. To strengthen the preparedness and resilience against such challenges, the bill mandates the NDMA and SDMA to assess the plan for these risks. It also introduced a centralized disaster database at both national and state level. This system will enable better classification of disasters, aiding mapping, responsible planning, and mitigation. The most critical amendment is the creation of urban disaster management authorities in the state capitals and cities. I come from a constituency of Vijayawada, which is an urban constituency. This was recently affected with severe flash floods in the month of September 2024. The Vijayawada floods are a combination of both natural and man-made disasters. My city witnessed the highest rainfall in 50 years is the natural cause, while the previous state government's failure to desilt the river Krishna and cleaning its canal is the man-made cause. Due to the previous government neglect, the people of Vijayawada were severely impacted. More than 3 lakh people were shelterless and countless hectares of the land was flooded. The victim could not be accessed in first 24 hours of the flooding. The flood relief operations was effectively managed by our Chief Minister, Honorable Nara Chandrababu Naidu Garu, who is an expert in crisis management. He used modern technologies like drones to provide relief packages, and fire engines were utilized to clean the homes of the flooded with sand and dead bees. The Chief Minister on-ground leadership ensured the immediate relief for the affected citizens. This intervention was possible due to the timely coordination of the central government and synchronizing work of NDA alliance. I appreciate the timely support extended by the central government and urge the Honorable Home Minister to expedite the approval of 1,100 crores flood relief fund for Vijayawada, which is currently pending with the high-level committee. Experiencing how damaging flood can be, creation of urban disaster management authority is a step in the right direction. However, to improve the functioning of UDMA, I recommend that Member of Parliament and other public representatives have to be part of this authority for comprehensive and localized disaster management. Countries like Japan that are highly disaster prone follow this convention. I stand in support of the bill, and the NDA Alliance is strongly committed for good governance, transparency, and development. And to conclude, I would like to say that I have witnessed the devastation caused by the urban flooding in my constituency, and I'm glad that my maiden speech in the Parliament is a progressive step towards sensitizing the issue of urban flooding to the August House and seek the support of the central government for rebuilding the affected area. Thank you.
धन्यवाद माननीय सदस्य। माननीय
Thank you, Honourable Member.
यादव जी।
धन्यवाद सभापति जी।
Thank you, Chairperson Madam. The Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2024, brought in by the Honorable Home Minister, brings in some changes to the Act of 2005, and it is based on the task force suggestions, and the 2022 expert committee report recommendations have also been a basis of this report. The clauses 2 and 4 and 6, there are some new clauses which are being included in it, and amendments to many other clauses. The simplification of words and definitions are also there. I understand that because of this bill will become stronger and more capable. Madam, there are a lot of man made and natural disasters which pose a danger in our country. People living along the sea face natural calamities and cyclones all the time, and almost 8 58.6% of our land comes under seismic zone, so there's always a danger. The irrigable land, almost 12% of it is in danger of erosion and flood, and we can see that in my state Bihar also. In my Lok Sabha constituency, especially, the river Kosi wreaks in havoc every year for millions of people. Similarly, in hilly regions, there is the danger of landslide and flash floods, and almost 66% of the land is affected by drought. Today, global warming is also a new kind of danger which is at a global level, and we need to be aware of that. Ma'am, the amendments that are being brought in to strengthen the Disaster Management Act of 2005, the center and the states will have to come up with policies for mitigating disaster. There will be an executive committee of disaster management. There will be a national database which will make people aware about these disasters, and the states and the center will come together for monitoring any kind of disaster and to mitigate its effects. And whenever there's any danger of any kind of disaster, they will take quick and rapid action, and such institutional mechanisms will be established. Madam Chairperson, it has been seen that whenever there's any disaster, the specially harmed people are those who are socially and economically backward, especially the women, the old, the ladies, the orphan, and these people are the worst affected. Loss of livelihood and cattle and other basic amenities of life is also seen. I am of the opinion that these people should be taken special care of while framing policies. Chairperson, Madam, I come from the state of Bihar, and I would like to state something specifically about my state. Every year in Khagaria, Purnia, Kishangarh, Katigar, Saran, Gopalganj, Vaishali, Srihar, Mastipur, Darbhanga, Madhubani, they are affected by floods every year. Whereas if we see South Bihar, their districts are affected by drought. This is a recurring issue every year, and 94,106 square kilometer of the entire area, almost 68,000 square kilometer of land, that is 73%, is inundated by floods every year. Almost 40% of the total losses incurred by farm flood is in Bihar, and almost 22.1% of the country's population is in Bihar. There are five rivers: Kosi, Nanda, Kurgandak, and they are in northern Bihar, which cause flood every year, and they originate from Nepal. Actually, in Bihar, the biggest contribution in flood is of the river Kosi. This year, only from the Himalaya regions of Nepal, because of excessive rain, there was a flood in the Kosi River, and because of that, all of a sudden 7 lakh cubic of water was released. And if it was not, then Bhimnagar barrage would have collapsed. As a result, overnight, people staying in the area, almost 5 to 6 feet water entered their houses, and it took 12 hours. 12 hours back, the district administration want them to evacuate, and that is why they moved to upper highlands. Honorable member, please complete your speech. Because the rain stopped. Otherwise, in Sarsa, Madhepur, Supal districts, there would have been huge losses of livelihood and life. The flood water enters their houses, and there's a lot of silt also in Kosi River, which raises the floor bed, and every year we face the wrath of flood. Madam, the question is that how can we control floods in Bihar? What steps have been taken? It is not only possible if only Bihar government takes efforts. The central government needs to assist and provide financial assistance to them, makes proper policies, and completes the works in time. There's about two countries, so we need to consult Nepal government and come to proper solutions. Otherwise, Bihar will be forced to suffer under the flood every year. In the end, I would like to say that the 15th Finance Commission, as per that, it has been given, but it was mentioned that as per 14th Finance Commission, Bihar is to be given 4 times the funds. So for that, that funds be sent to Bihar. With this, I support this bill and conclude my speech. Thank you.
माननीय सदस्य
Honorable members, Srinivas Desai ji.
Thank you, Chair, Madam. Thank you, Chair, Madam. The government has introduced the Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2024, and the same is being discussed and deliberated upon in the House. After the enactment of the Disaster Management Act 2005, initially, it's now almost 2 decades have passed since we have made any amendment or changes in this act, which is now being considered. Despite the fact that the progress and the growth what we have seen in our economy, but we have also witnessed the weather events, the vagaries of nature, and also the way events have become unpredictable. We came across climate extremes, pandemics, and we all withstood the cascading effects of disasters. And therefore, the provisions under the Disaster Management Act 2005 needed to be amended by way of bringing in much required amendments in the existing robust framework of DM Act 2005. Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2024 emphasizes, basically it's a shift from reactive approach to the from going from reactive framework to we are emphasizing proactive approach. It is advancing from preparedness approach to a risk preventive approach. The proposed amendment bill seeks to enhance India's disaster management framework by establishing urban disaster management authorities, that is UDMA. It aims to empower national and state disaster management authorities, NDMA and SDMAs. It aims to create comprehensive disaster database, which is also part of the bill. The bill aims to focus on disaster risk reduction also. Its objective is to improve coordination among various authorities and strengthen urban disaster management. The bill permits state government to establish their own state disaster resource, SDRF. Madam, existing bodies such as National Crisis Management Committee, NCMC, and High-Level Committee will get statutory status, which will formalize their roles in managing national level disaster and overseeing financial assistance during emergencies. While this piece of legislation, which is being discussed, there are few questions or explanations which I feel that Honorable Minister, while replying to the House, will put some shade on this. My first question or the query is, the bill grants substantial rulemaking and regulating powers to the central government, that is NDMA. NDMA is being strengthened. This will infringe on the state government's rights and lead to bureaucratic overlap that might affect the effective disaster management. My second query is financial and administrative capacity of local authorities, especially in smaller cities, to manage the responsibilities under UDMAs. Resources and expertise needs required for the authorities to function effectively. Madam Chair, today leaving Mumbai Corporation, which is the biggest corporation in India, and not only in India but in Asia, which has the capacity, which has the resources, but that too, it gets engaged because of the state governments plowing its resources to other things than the autonomous corporation that Mumbai. But leaving that, most of the, not only most of the, but all the corporations and local bodies in the state, which are literally depending on the resources being provided by the state governments, where from they will get the resources, where from they will bring in the financial assistance or the financial strength they need to fight with the emergencies, that needs to be made clear by the Honorable Minister. Thirdly, multiplicity of authorities, creation of new bodies like UDMAs along with formalization of existing committees will create mix-ups in decision-making process, ultimately defeating the purpose of emergencies, fighting of emergencies. This may result in the action during the emergencies. Fourth, this thing is penalties for non-compliance. The bill introduces penalty clause obstructing disaster. One who will obstruct the disaster management efforts will be penalized up to rupees 10,000. There is no clear criteria for which, penalties would come. That needs to be made clear in this, I think, in this bill. And now, Madam, I'll
माननीय सदस्य प्लीज कंप्लीट करिए.
only 2 points, because my state of Maharashtra has faced extremes of climate change extremes of climate change in the last few years. Cyclones like Nisarg or Tokte devastated the entire coastal belt life in Konkan region in the year 21-22. The state government then did its best, but much needed relief, which was expected to come from the central government, didn't come on time, and that is the reason why coastal belt people suffered a lot. Similarly, grave damages done by the unseasonal rains and even flash floods that has caused tremendous sufferings to the farming fraternity, and at that point of time also NDRF relief was much expected, but it didn't come on time. So state had to weigh all the responsibilities on its shoulder, which was not sufficient to cope with the casualties or cope with the losses and damages which had happened. My next this thing is landslides which are taking place in the Western Ghat of Maharashtra, which has seen that villages and lot of families losing their life and the loss of property which took place. And exactly there, in time, whatever was needed to be done couldn't be done because central government, the teams which were supposed to visit them and provide relief at that point of time, we didn't come in time. And these are the things which really made people suffer. That should not happen. I think in the Disaster Management Act 2024, by way of amendments, the Honorable Minister would put some light on this, because basic thing is that only last point I'm making, that if state of Maharashtra, which is number one state in the entire country, if that suffers on these counts, we need to see that how we prevent. The prevention is to be seen, then mitigation and the relief which should come at a time. Now the relief is being made prominent and compensation word is being taken off. Now what is the difference between the compensation and relief? That also need to be elucidated by the Honorable Minister while replying. I think if these things are put in place, then Disaster Management Act Amendment Bill 2024 it will be meaningful for the people of India.
धन्यवाद माननीय सदस्य. प्लीज माननीय सदस्य से
Honorable member.
है नहीं क्या?
नहीं है.
माननीय सदस्य श्री राजेश वर्मा जी.
धन्यवाद सभापति.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Today, Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2024 has been introduced, and you allowed me to speak on this bill. For this, I am thankful to you.